film begins with Art the Clown returning to life in a morgue. He attacks the medical examiner, taking an eye and some brain tissue to fix his own injuries. After that, he goes to a laundromat to clean his clothes and claims another victim before disappearing into the night. Throughout, Art is accompanied by visions of a creepy little clown girl, known as the Little Pale Girl, who seems to enjoy his violent acts just as much as he does. Nearly a year later, Halloween approaches. Sienna, a teenage girl, is creating her costume based on an angel warrior character her late father designed. During dinner, Sienna tells her mother Barbara that her younger brother Jonathan wants to dress up as Art the Clown. She forbids it, and later, Sienna shares her concerns about his behavior with their mom. On TV, scenes from the first film play, showing Vicky, the disfigured sole survivor of Art's last attack, being interviewed before she violently attacks the interviewer. That night, Sienna has a strange and unsettling dream where she's on a film set, filming commercials for a clown cafe and a cereal associated with Art the Clown. The dream takes a dark turn as she watches him harm the other actors and then turn toward her, using a flamethrower. She wakes up and discovers her room is actually on fire, though it's unclear if it was caused by the dream or by accidentally leaving candles burning. Her mother quickly puts out the fire, but not before it damages the wings of Sienna's costume and burns a sword her father had given her before he passed away. The next morning, the school is abuzz with news of Vicky's attack on the interviewer and her return to a mental hospital. Sienna has a panic attack but is comforted by her friends, Brooke and Allie. Meanwhile, at school, Jonathan sees two kids messing with a dead opossum. Later, he finds Art in the hallway playing with the same corpse, while also catching a glimpse of the Little Pale Girl. Art throws the opossum at him before running away. The principal blames Jonathan for bringing the opossum to school and reports him to Barbara. After school, Sienna visits a Halloween store to buy new wings and encounters the clown, who spooks her but doesn't try to harm her. Once she leaves, Art locks the door and attacks the store clerk, using his severed head as a Halloween decoration. Sienna returns home and learns that Jonathan is in trouble for the possum incident. He insists that Art framed him, and despite her doubts, Sienna asks about his obsession with the clown. Jonathan shows her their father's sketchbook, which contains drawings of Art and scenes from the first film, including the warrior angel holding his head. Although she doesn't believe their dad predicted Art's return, she later tells their mom that she believes Jonathan didn't bring the opossum to school. Later, showers and dons her angel warrior costume. Despite Barbara's concerns about its revealing nature, she appreciates its beauty. Sienna then heads to a club to meet Brooke and Allie. Meanwhile, Allie is handing out trick-or-treat candy while her parents are out. Art stops by and promises to leave if she gives him some candy, which she eventually does. However, he later breaks into the house and horribly attacks her, slashing her brutally. When her mom returns home, she finds Art standing laughing over the bloody scene. Later, he is seen using her head as a bowl to hand out candy to trick-or-treaters. At the club, Sienna meets Brooke's boyfriend, and they have a great time dancing and drinking. Meanwhile, Barbara and Jonathan argue about the opossum incident and his obsession with Art. In anger, Barbara tears up their dad's sketchbook and slaps Jonathan after he insults her. Upset, he storms out, vandalizing the family car with toilet paper, pumpkins, eggs, and shaving cream. Barbara calls Sienna, who defends Jonathan and reassures her mom of her love, helping to calm her down. While out walking, he sees the Little Pale Girl and rushes home in fear. Meanwhile, Barbara starts cleaning the car. As she wipes away some shaving cream, she is shocked to find Art sitting inside. Suddenly, he attacks and kills her with a gun. When Jonathan arrives home, he finds him nearby, feeding mashed potatoes to Barbara's motionless body. Terrified, he tries to escape, but Art catches him and knocks him out. He then leaves the house with Jonathan, taking Sienna's sword with him. Meanwhile, Brooke tells her she slipped something into her drink to help her relax. While dancing, Sienna sees the Little Pale Girl and panics. Concerned, Brooke and her boyfriend rush her to his car. On the way home, she receives a call from the Little Pale Girl, who is impersonating Jonathan and claims he's trapped at the abandoned fairgrounds. The trio arrives at the fairgrounds, and Sienna searches for Jonathan. Brooke tells her boyfriend that their dad had a brain tumor that made him abusive before dying in a fiery crash. They then do drugs in the car. Meanwhile, the Little Pale Girl texts Sienna from Jonathan's phone, instructing her to find him in the haunted funhouse called the Terrifier. Brooke's boyfriend goes outside and is attacked by Art. He picks her up and inside he brutally kills her. Soon, Sienna finds her disfigured body and cries. Meanwhile, Jonathan wakes up. She tells him to run while being beaten by Art. The siblings manage to escape but are stalked by Art through the funhouse. He injures them severely, whipping them and leaving marks on their backs. They fight back by stabbing him and shooting him with his own sawed-off shotgun, but the evil clown keeps getting back up. Eventually, he knocks out Jonathan and stabs Sienna with her own sword. He then throws her body into a pit, where she finds herself in the clown cafe from her dreams, trapped in a water tank. As she begins to lose consciousness, Art approaches the unconscious Jonathan. As she nears blackout, her sword glows and heals her wounds. She breaks free from the water tank and returns to the Terrifier funhouse, reclaiming the discarded sword. Finding Art looming over her unconscious brother, she fiercely attacks, catching him by surprise. In a final showdown, she decapitates the Sinister clown, just as foreshadowed in her father's sketchbook. The siblings embrace, traumatized but alive. To their surprise, the creepy little pale girl appears, picking up Art's head before quietly walking away. In mid-credits scene, Vicky is still in the mental hospital while the orderlies celebrate Halloween. In the middle of the night, she wakes up bleeding and writes Victoria plus Art in a heart on the wall. Suddenly, she appears to become pregnant and gives birth. When they check on her, they are horrified to find her cradling Art's head, which seems alive and smiling, leaving them in shock.